welcome everybody here to the X-Bomb Sports Live Show. My name is Andrew Valentin, and I hope you're all having a fantastic Thursday. We are coming to you live here from the Illinois Media School here in Lombard, Illinois, and I am not joined by my man, Drew Gwillem, unfortunately. He could not be here, but I have one of the best options you could possibly ask for. It is the man himself, back again, swagged out in the blue and white, Mr. David Dykstra. David, how you doing, man?
Yeah, I went Penn State extreme today.
I could tell. I could definitely tell.
We're celebrating a little something, but we'll celebrate that later. We're gonna celebrate
We
that.
don't
later.
have to celebrate that.
We're gonna celebrate.
Jesus. All right, fine. Well, Dave, how you doing, man? How's
The weather outside is getting a little frightful,
Yeah.
and I got to drive in this at 2:30 in the morning tomorrow.
I was gonna say you're gonna have a rough. Well, maybe not as bad. People might be a little bit more clear than usual.
I don't know why the plows aren't out there just waiting already.
Like sharks in the water circling.
You idiots knew it was coming. You should be out there with the bags of salts. Just go to TJ's house.
This is true. This is very true. Our man TJ is loaded with salt. So if anybody would like to contact our man TJ.
Are you putting the salts on the sashimis and sushis?
No. I don't think you're saying that right, though.
I don't think he needs to be putting zasses on the end of that.
Well, I just had to ask.
It's fine. It's fine.
Just had to make sure.
Absolutely. Well, folks, we got a ton of good stuff for you. David, are you ready to get into this?
Let's go.
Let's do it, folks. So we were going to have a special guest for this first segment, but he had to charge his batteries. So
No, you're wrong. He had a prior clogging engagement.
prior clogging engagement. Yes,
That's right.
absolutely.
I look good today.
You do. You look good. You look
What is
sharp in the camera.
wrong?
What? What do you mean? What is wrong?
I think I look good today.
Yeah, no, the camera's looking well on you, but
I'm looking svelte.
absolutely. Yeah.
It's the holiday pounds shedding off of me.
Is that what it is?
I don't
Is that what happens on the holidays? Because I seem to.
I haven't been, due to certain things that have gone on in my life over
Yeah.
the past 2 weeks, I haven't been eating the most. So
Mhm.
that's what happens when I get down a little. I don't eat.
I mean,
Weird enough.
Yeah, but you're still looking good, man. I'd eat you. So.
Whoa.
But yeah, so we're getting into baseball here, folks. We're getting into baseball because the local teams here decided to make some moves, and we have to talk about them, obviously. And we'll start off with, because there are no Cubs fans here, we're gonna start with the White Sox, because they probably made probably the most surprising move of the two teams in signing Andrew Benintendi, left fielder, who originally played with Kansas City, traded to the Yankees. 5 years, $75 million deal. Kind of came out of left field, if you will.
Ooh.
I had that one in my pocket. But David, interesting signing for the White Sox, something they were certainly looking for and needed. What are your thoughts on Andrew Benintendi becoming a Chicago White Sox now?
I think it's a win-win. You got him relatively cheap.
Yeah.
He's never anybody that's ever gonna just be like, oh my God.
No, yeah.
You got who?
Yeah.
But he's one of those guys that's just a ball player.
Yeah. Very consistent in the lineup.
Ball player.
Yeah.
Which, from what I understand, and there's more White Sox news out there that there's whispers, but we'll get to that in a second. This gives you the ability now to get Mr. I'm going to dive it into nets and put him on the bench and use him as a DH.
Yes.
Eloy
Jimenez.
Eloy never needs to see the field again.
No.
Nor
Even though
should
I know he
he.
wants to. It's not your preference. He was originally a first baseman. He's been playing out of position this whole time. He's a natural DH, though.
Which, once again, you and I have had this discussion. I don't understand. Okay, so he was brought up as a first baseman. Why not try him out there?
Because they have Andrew Vaughn.
Well, and I get that they
And
have
Andrew Vaughn, I think, is a natural first baseman.
I think Andrew Vaughn could be the White Sox version of Kyle Schwarber.
Yeah, I mean, but the problem is that because he's got a more natural feel for first, you want to go with, I think, what his first step is.
And I'm not arguing that.
Yeah,
but
because Schwarber had time to work in left field. If this team doesn't have that much time.
If you were to have injuries, I would much rather see Vaughn in left than Eloy in left.
No, I think his experience there can give you the option to say, well, if somebody does get hurt like Benintendi or something like that, we know he can play there. It's not the go-to option, obviously, but it is an option nevertheless. But I think they want to try to keep him at first as the replacement for Jose Abreu, because of anybody on that roster right now, he's the closest thing you can find to being that solid first baseman that's got pop on his bat, that can, hit fourth or fifth in the lineup and just, crush it.
Do you think he's going to be Canerco-esque?
I think he's got that ability. I think he's got that.
Can he be a leader amongst men? Because we all know who has the C.
Right.
It's
Yes.
Tim Anderson.
Yes, absolutely.
Tim Anderson is going to be the voice of the Chicago White Sox moving forward.
Even though I think there's some times where he doesn't have to speak. But
oh, Tim, don't listen to him. You can speak whenever you want.
Honestly,
buddy. I love
I think
you.
the guy that kind of carries the captainship right now, I would say, is Liam Hendricks, because it seems like when he speaks, the whole team kind of follows behind his foot. And I know that there's the rumors going out there.
You brought it up.
That Liam Hendricks right now could be a potential trade target. A lot of teams calling.
Unless
you're getting a haul. Yeah.
The Mets.
Which doesn't make any sense.
Setup is the only thing I can think of. Is they're going to use him as a setup guy to get to Diaz?
I mean, that could be overkill, like we saw with the Kimbrel situation with Hendricks.
But once again, that wasn't Hendricks' fault.
No,
that was Tony La Russa's fault. Yeah. Because Liam has come out and said, whether it was with the White Sox or anywhere, he'll do whatever it takes to get a ring.
Yeah.
If that means I have to be a setup man, I don't give a crap. I'll be the setup guy.
Yeah, no, he was more than willing to do so.
His willingness tells me, okay, but once again, you brought up a good point. Are the Mets going to give you back substantial for, and I don't think it was the one that I saw had 3 players in it.
Yeah, they're looking for high-level, substantial prospects that can come in and...
Well, no, for the White Sox, 3 White Sox players being traded.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
To the Mets.
Yeah.
I think it was Hendricks, Sheets.
Yeah.
And there was one other, and I can't think of it off the top of my head.
TJ, do you know by any chance?
Not offhand. Let me take a look.
Okay.
It popped up on my Bleacher Report the other day, and I was like, ooh, that's interesting, because they were only offering 2 players back.
Yeah. Well, I mean, listen, the Mets in their organization have a ton of prospects that obviously I think that's what the White Sox would be looking for at this point.
Are the Mets taking the LA Rams philosophy? Who needs to draft?
I think
Who
that's
needs
what
to develop.
Well, Cohen is right now spent 4% of his entire worth at this point on the Mets. So keep that in mind, folks. The guy's worth about, whatever it is, $4 billion or something like that. Whatever